Hi ladies and gents, welcome back to the van and the channel. I hope you're enjoying following along with the aquarium maintenance I've been doing so far. If you are, make sure you drop a comment below to let me know, and also subscribe to the channel if you want to keep updated on all the tanks we're doing. So today, marine heavy day, so we're off to see a big marine tank first thing this morning. Got 4 barrels of salt water and 1 of RODI, so that tells you what sort of morning it's going to be. We're going to finish up hopefully getting back to a job that I started at the beginning of this week, so see if we can get some plumbing. So I might show you a little bit of that, but I'm going to do a specific video on that as well. All right guys, let's get cracking straight away this morning. So first tank of the day. So this is a marine system that's been up and running in this house for about 8 or 9 years. Some of the rock in here is up to 15 years old from various family members' tanks. I've been coming to this tank 2 or 3 years now, so just maintaining it once every 6 weeks or so. Mainly what I do is testing and tackling pest Manjanos. When I first started coming, it was a lot of help and advice, but the lady who looks after this tank is now well into it and doing water changes and keeping on top of salinity and all those things. But yeah, mainly what I do is controlling the Manjanos, get my hands wet and keeping on top of the testing. So have a little look at testing. I'll keep you updated if there's anything interesting to show, and then we'll come back sort of towards the end of the video, or I'll show you some Manjano work as well if I get the opportunity to. All right, see you in a bit. So just coming to the big reveal. So last time I was here, nitrate had started to trend upwards. So I'll put a graph on that after we've reviewed these numbers. So nitrate was around the 50 mark. Phosphate was 0.1, I believe. 0.1, sorry. So yeah, a little bit on the high side with nitrate, but phosphate well within range. So yeah, we'd like to bring that nitrate down a little bit. So we discussed last time about increasing water changes, so it's come down by 5, so getting there. So we just need to bring that down nice and slowly, because trends are more important. And as you can see from the previous video, the tank's looking good. No nuisance algae, no nuisance problems. I think we just keep going, trying to lower those nitrates nice and slowly over time. All right, let's keep going. So Manjano anemones are these green anemones, which look actually quite pretty in my opinion. The problem is a bit like Aptasia, and they're an anemone that reproduce rapidly and will sting other corals and take over the tank. So although they do add a nice splash of colour and look quite cool, they will go around and annoy other corals. So you can see we're quite close together here, so that one might be getting annoyed from that. Although the Kenyan tree and Gorgonia up the top are actually doing all right with regards to that. So yeah, we just manage them in this tank. Aptasia, F-Aptasia usually is what I use, although I don't actually have any in my bag today, so we're going to use some Aptasia X from Red Sea, which the customer has. So I'm just going to get in there, try and take care of a lot of them with all the pumps off, and then we'll see where we are. I'll try and get some video of it if I can, but it's quite a deep tank, so it's a bit difficult to get in there. Try and get right in the centre, bit different to Aptasia in as much as they won't really close up round it initially. So again, always of the opinion that you should overkill run rather than underkill these sort of things. Don't have many tanks with cleaner rats in, but when they do, they are quite cool, because they will come up and give your hand a quick nibble. So, as with most tanks, there's always one fish you have to be a bit wary of. In this tank, it's a big female marine clown, who's a bit on the naughty side. It's the first fish to actually break my skin, so I will always remember her for as long as I do this. She's actually being quite good today. Just as the lights are changing to a more daylight spectrum, so the red filter's now not really that helpful. But yeah, so giving them quite a lot of going over. And actually, this colour spectrum really shows off some of the fish a bit better. Yellow tang hiding in the corner. So just finishing up, we're going to leave the pumps off for half an hour so the customer will adjust that or turn it back on once I'm gone, just to get everything running again. So we'll leave all of that soak in. So as you can see, got 90% of the Manjanos, a few little ones that just sleuth off the Aptasia F, especially ones like this guy at the front who's right on that angle. But yeah, overall steady tank. Customer does 75 litre water changes twice a month, so that's a pretty decent water change on a system this sort of size. So yeah, on to the next one. So we've got a little cube tank next, so it's really cute, so we'll go and have a look at that next. All right, see you there.
So, doing the before video, the before voiceover after seeing the tank. So this customer is a lovely elderly lady who loves a good chat, and sometimes that goes a bit astray. So I'm going to do a quick voiceover of this tank, introduction, etc. So this is a little Aqua One cube. I think it's 60 litres technically. I do about 25 litre water, about 15-20 litre water change. So I reckon actual workable volume's probably nearer 50 litres. So yeah, been looking after this tank probably a couple of years now for this lady. So see it once a month, do a water change, clean out the sponge, change some carbon, a little bit of carbon, just a few tablespoons. I usually do about 4 to 6 depending on my mood. And yeah, it runs lovely. We put some plants in here when I first saw this tank because it was covered in algae with fake plants in there. So we put some weeds in there to let them grow. There is a little Java phone in there that sort of has spits and starts of how well it does. But as you can see from the video, loads of guppies doing brilliantly and some cherry shrimp as well. Managed to do a voiceover for the outro, so we'll probably cut me changing water or cleaning the glass or something like that. I can't remember exactly what I did, so let's get to that.
Just finished 50% water change and we're putting the water back in. So far I've cleaned the big black sponge, replaced the carbon or redone the carbon which is sat in there at the moment, which I'll put back in once I finish filming, and then we're just filling up. So I use a net to siphon out of this tank because we end up with quite a lot of little fish caught in, as I tried to show in the previous video, but these guys are well established. We've also had a good cut down of some of the green stuff, some of the weeds, as people tend to colloquially call it. All right, I need to go because I need to put the filter and the carbon in and then turn this off because this is almost full again. So do like these little tanks, nice and easy to do a 50% water change. Right, I really need to go. There we go, all finished. So I didn't manage to flood the place, although I left it pretty tight for you guys, but so just got to get rid of the water now, and then we're on to the next tank, which is a nice marine tank that I moved about 6 months ago, and I've been back sort of 3 or 4 times since then. So yeah, we'll crack on and get over there now. So this marine tank moved into this location about 4 months ago. It's been running about 7 or 8 years, I believe. So yeah, just arrived, so we've got quite a bit of work to do. So it's always been high nutrient tank. So we've done a few bits, general 25 litre water change every 4 weeks. Also, the clarity that was running on this was missing a part, so it was letting a lot of water through. So we've got a new part for that. Last time I was here, I did quite a lot of work on these rocks, pulling off all this long hair algae. So we're going to do that again. Since I was here last time, customers also added black tang and quite a lot of herbivores to the tank. So we've got a blackfoot trochus that's up here. So we've got a few of them added in. We've got an algae blenny as well as that black scopaz. Not black scopaz, black tang. That I'll also try and find as we go. So hopefully those guys will help with a bit of assistance from me. So going to get on with the testing, and then we will see where we get to. Also forgot to say that this custom tank, and when the customer had it made for him, they'd actually made the wrong size sump, so it was a bit not the greatest sump. So we built him a new sump, or I got a company to build a new sump, so it's aligned for everything. So we've got a piece of glass behind the clarity, which you can't quite see, that it sits on and hangs on, so that's perfect. We then got the 3 sections, nice big section for the skimmer and heaters, a nice open section, so if we wanted to run Rathos in bags, etc., or carbon all those bits we can, and then we just use all the old media that the customer had already in the tank. All right, let's crack on with testing and then we'll see where we go. Just coming up to the end of these tests. So alg's fine, above 7 is all good. We've only really got candy canes in here that worry about alg, but as it's a buffer for pH, that's really important to me. So last time nitrate was 140 because I'd diluted it in half with RA. Phosphate I have diluted this time, but nitrate I haven't. So it'll be interesting to see where we are now. The reef, the clarity roller mat's been working. So we'll see where we are with both of these. So both of them are unreadable again. So I'm going to assume that they're in and around the same numbers they were last time. Again, that one is diluted in half, so it's above the readable range anyway, so 1.8. And 75 flashing, again, just indicates it's above that 75, although it's not diluted. So I'm going to try and get you guys some satisfying algae cleaning in a minute. But just quite interesting that obviously the algae blenny's been, or the algae blenny or the tank, it looks like the algae blenny's been pecking at this glass, so you can see all his kisses all over it. But let's see if we can get you some satisfying footage. So we're going to do trusty pinch and pull method for some of this algae in the tank. So yeah, we're going to do the trusty pinch and pull method, some of the algae in the tank. So I'm going to do this on the rock and other bits, but just show you a little bit, hopefully you're in focus, a little bit of manual removal. So with all the herbivores that we've got in here, they're going to do a cracking job, but most herbivorous fish, snails, etc. will not touch this real long stuff. So you can, if you can get fingers on, pinch and pull, and we can really get a lot of that algae out. There's a little bit of the green cyano on this back wall as well, but if we can knock it back, knock it down, and then let the herbivores do their job. I'm a big proponent of, you don't have an algae problem, you have a herbivore problem. So you can be the herbivore, or you can get the tank into a position where hopefully it can self-manage. Alright, I'll come back and show you some afters. So, quite interesting, just watching the Emperor Angel, just some of the algae that I knocked off the rocks, he's now going for. Yeah, it says as he spits it out. Which he wasn't doing when it was on the rock. So, just a little bit of interesting stuff. So, just like catch you up on what I've been doing. So we got rid of all the algae, well not all the algae, a lot of the algae from the back wall. We started to pull it away a bit around these trumpets, and obviously we've knocked some into the water column. There's still a little bit over there we pulled away. We've also done quite a big GSP pullback, so customers worried about this overtaking his tank, so it looks a little bit bare at the moment, but GSP does so well in this tank that I don't think that's too much of a problem. So we don't want it really growing off of this rock too much, so we've just pulled it back just to make sure it doesn't do that. So yeah, it looks a bit grey because I've annoyed it a little bit and did a little bit of cleaning up of this bit as well. So a customer's going to take it into Reef Keeper Moss End, the local fish shop, and he's going to get some credit for that. But yeah, just putting some water back in, we'll turn everything back on, and then if I've got anything else to add, I'll come back to you. So the other thing I did was I pulled out some bubble algae and other bits and bobs that were all in the back there, so all down here. So this is now nice and clear, so you shouldn't get any issues with that algae. As I say, got a good amount of bubble algae and other bits and pieces out as well.
So back in the van, off to a big marine system. So it's a customer calls it 150 gallons, which I think in English is about 500-ish litres, maybe 6. I'll tell you at some point when I'm there. So this is run on canister filters, so a bit unusual. This was installed by a previous company, and I took it over about a year ago. So we've been running it. So we've struggled initially with high phosphates. Now we're struggling with high nitrates. So I've put a few plans in places like cleaning the pre-filters every time I go, every 2 weeks that is, as opposed to every other time I go, because there's 2 canister filters. So I was doing one then the other. Now I'm going to do 1 full clean and 1 pre-filter clean each time I go. So yeah, we'll see how that's all getting on. Do 3 barrel water changes, clean it up. Predominantly softy, some lovely big fish in there. So yeah, we'll go and have a look at that next. Let's go.
So just setting up to do the testing. Had a bit of a chat with the customer, see how everything's going. But this tank is a lovely, let me step back a little bit, lovely built-in system that I started looking after last April, May time. It runs on 2 canisters that are down there. It's got an air stone in it and 2 wave makers. So when I came, it didn't have the wave makers, so we added them in to give some more movement and oxygenation to the tank, because it's fully built in. We've got glass lids, I'll give a good clean to, and a couple of AI primes that give us our main light sources on this area and this area, hence the corals in and around those areas. So these are the green Kenyan tree, the mushroom, the toadstool and the Duncan coral, all relatively new additions to this side. The pink finger leather has been there quite a while, as has these green mushrooms that float around all over the tank, so you'll find them in various places, and the GSP as well. And then this toadstool up here, which was out when I turned up and of course is now pulled back in, was also doing that. So really hitting its stride. 2-year-old tank, some lovely fish and coral in here. Big lipstick tang who loves hiding in the smallest spaces, so we'll see if we can see him in there. If I can get some pictures of him swimming around the water. He was just out because the customer just fed. So yeah, so I'll get on with testing, let you know how it's doing, and then we'll get through to cleaning. Right, so done the glass, just siphoning out, so just a quick one whilst this fills up. Got to keep an eye on it. So cleaned all the glass down the back side, black sides, and this side of the tank. Obviously peninsular tank, but the other side's another office. But in here, there's limited access to get magnet cleaners, so it's all done with a magnet scraper. I've also cleaned this glass as well. All done not with a magnet scraper, but with a razor blade on a pole to reach down. So it does take a little bit of time, but gets a good result, and it's nice and black, so there's a nice good contrast between the corals and everything else. And when it's viewed from the other side, that's really nice as well. I'll try and get some video of it the other side. But yeah, since I've been gone, that's mainly what I've done. You saw the video of the nitrate and phosphate, so both high. So we've got to just, we'll manage that with water changes. I'm here usually every 2 weeks, but with the festivities, I've been away from the tank for about 4 weeks. So the plan is down the bottom, we've got 2 Oazi filters. The left one I did last time I was here, so we'll just do the pre-filter on that one, which has the heater in it as well, and then I'll strip this one down, do the pre-filter and all the sponges in it. I think long term the plan is to remove the sponges completely and put some media in there instead, sort of Cyperax, etc. But let's see how we get on. I'll catch up with you again once we're sort of in the cleaning phase of the filters. So pre-filter cleaning. So we're doing the second one, which is the main one that I'm going to do today. Already done that bad boy over there for the pre-filter. So he's back up and running. And then we'll pre-filter. So the pre-filters, if you're not aware of the Oazi, are just little sponges. So we just squeeze them out in one bucket. Make sure we get rid of all the junk. As you can see, this bucket has already been used for a set of 6. And then we throw them in that bucket, which is already getting a bit murky compared to the super clean bucket. And then these go back onto the intake, and then that goes as a pre-filter before all the other sponges. So finish cleaning these out, and then we'll have a look at the main sponges, see what they're like today. So I do apologise, you've already missed out on part of this. So we've added 6 tablespoons of Rifos below this foam So there it is there. Rinse out this foam in the first bucket. We will cover it back up. Try to be better this video than last video with filming the right bits, and then we'll leave it in there to stay wet as we go. So this is the next sponge. So we've got 3 of these. Then we've got some Matrix by Seachem, and as you can see, these aren't really dirty, but they could do with a good clean. So yeah, we've got some Seachem, we've got some Purigen in the next layer, and then we've got a couple more sponges. This is almost used up, so probably next time I'm here we'll replace that, because when it goes brown or black it needs replacing. We've got a few more sponges. And then you can see we've got some really nice crustaceans going on. We've then got some Purigen, and then underneath that is cross coral rubble. But my plan is probably next visit again, we'll start to change out these sponges for some more biomedia, stop them being so much of a nitrate factory. Right, let me get cleaning these out and I'll be back. So, refilling the tank with some fresh salt water. So this tank is running at around 6.2 I think, 6.3 DKH. So we're going to use some KH buffer from Reef Sediments just to bring it up to around the 7 mark, 7.5. So we're going to add 75 mils. So this is the second 25 mils. A bit scary when you first add this because it does some funky stuff in the water, but very quickly you can see dissipates out. The water's also extra cloudy because I've added some new sand, because the sand pick spot goby was removing all the sand from over the far side of the tank. So one more of them to do to knock it back up. The water I'm adding is also 8 DKH, so the 75 litres that going into almost a 700 litre tank, 150 gallons UK. So yeah, let's add one more of that, 2 more barrels of this, and then I'll get some video from the other side. So one of the lovely things about peninsulas is you do get 2 sides to the tank. So this one's built into the wall, so it's completely enclosed in here, but it does give you 2 completely different tanks, completely different views. And actually we've got some of the more of the fish around this side because they've not been disturbed by me. Yeah, so I do love this tank. It is good. It's hard to work on in places, like getting to the side walls, but you can see that black really makes everything else pop out. Recently added Scooter Blenny, so she's pretty cool, floating around down the bottom as well. And we've got all the good herbivores in here. We've got the foxface, sailfin over that side. We've got gold rush tang. Yeah, so there's some beautiful fish. But yeah, lovely view from this side. A little bit on the cloudy side, and that's just as I said, because we added some sand because of all the problems that the goby was causing down this side. But it looks much better now, and we keep just topping it up as he moves it around basically. Right, I need to get around to the other side because we need to get that water level right up so it looks like it's literally in the wall.
There we are, all finished for today. So lovely marine tank to finish with. So just got to work on the nutrients on that side of things. So yeah, I hope you've enjoyed this video and following along with my day. Leave me a comment below if you've got any questions about any of the tanks you've seen, and make sure you do subscribe. Hit that subscribe button and you can follow along with the tanks, how they progress, how they change over time. As I say, I'm going to try and take you along to every one that I did. Didn't manage to get to last tank of the day. Sometimes that doesn't happen, but 4 tanks in a day is still, I feel, pretty impressive. All right, ladies and gents, take care, and I'll see you again in the next one.